everybody, welcome to At Home with Kayla Price. I'm Kayla, and this week I wanted just to update you on what's going on, also talk to you about a few items I have mail ordered, and then share with you some fermented food and kind of my new obsession. So I will go ahead and start telling you about our week. Oh my goodness, if you watch the news, you may have seen that in Texas, we had a really bad ice storm in North Texas, and that is where I'm located. So we had quite the week, and my week involved probably like 2 or 3 days without power. It involved getting stuck in the mud in the car, falling in the mud in my yard, chasing electric repairman down the highway with our cell phones, and sparking power lines and smoking and maybe even flaming. I don't know. It was dark. I just saw orange, but it has been quite the week. But I will say I'm so thankful that we made it through, and hopefully all my friends and neighbors did as well. But it was a lot of fun, and the funny thing was my husband was out of town and my nephew was out of town, so my niece-in-law, we were gonna hang together at my house, and we had planned to make sourdough. She really wants to start making more breads at home and that sort of thing, and so we were all ready to go, and then we lost power. And although we were using our fireplace to heat us, heat the room, heat the house, I don't think I could bake sourdough bread over an open flame. So we did not go there. So that is yet to be done together. But I did show her my sourdough starter, which I had been keeping in the fridge. I had just fed it the weekend before, and I keep it down in my warming drawer. It is probably about 5 years. It's pretty darn bubbly, and I think it was probably in the fridge without being fed for probably 5 or 6 months. So that is not bad when you consider it really hasn't been catered to or really cared for. Now I will say I did start this from scratch. Just, you know how you put water and flour out on the countertop, and you know, like a 7-day process. So it was not a purchase starter. It was something that I just started with natural bacteria, and I really like having done that because I didn't really know anything about sourdough. I did have a purchase starter before, and it quickly died. However, now I don't think they do die. I think you can pretty much recover them for most anything, but I'm really pleased with Mary. She is doing good, and I can't wait to share that with my niece. And I think, although I haven't mentioned it to my husband, I think I may try pancakes and scrambled eggs for dinner tonight. My mind was on the sourdough starter, and it made me really start looking online more about fermented sauerkraut, doing it yourself, and water kefir and milk kefir, kombucha, and storing more foods. During the ice storm, of course, going without power and still using our refrigerator and freezers, we actually probably have lost a lot of items, food items. So I went ahead and threw a lot out. And the things I didn't throw out, we're gonna actually have to, you know, smell and pay attention to texture and color and those sorts of things. They're not things I have any inkling went bad, but I don't wanna bring anything new in until I know that these items have been used and we're all good. So last night we had a pork loin. It was perfectly fine. Today I've laid out for tomorrow a chuck steak tender boneless roast, and it's just something that we had left in December. I will let it thaw out and then cook it in the pressure cooker. Sorry about that. And anyway, that would be a great Monday night meal just because it won't take a lot of time, won't take a lot of labor, and it will be good for us. So let me share with you some of the other items I have picked up, and then I'm going to show you what I've done so far on sauerkraut. I saw these on Instagram. It might have not been this brand, but it was something very similar. These are an empty paint pen that you put the paint colors of your house in, and then you always have paint, touch-up paint available. And this is something I desperately needed, and I think it's really a neat idea. I have not tried it yet, but you know, it's just a regular old paint pen, and it has the refillable chamber, and there are syringes. So there, in the pack that I got, I received 3 of the pens, 3 of the syringes. So the syringe is actually what you would put in your paint to draw the paint up into its little cartridge, and then you would fill your paint pen with it. So this is something I hope I have time to work on today, because our paint trim just has lots of little nicks in it. Not because we're abusive, it's just things happen. Like I see right now a little spot where a corner of the baseboard is chipped off, and if it were filled, it would not be noticeable at all. So I'm probably going to do one for my trim color, which is called Pearl. It's a Sherwin-Williams color, and I think it's a really pretty white. And then in our bathroom, it too seems to always get a lot of abuse. I guess we spend a lot of time in there. Our closets are off the bathroom and just coming and going maybe. But it is a light color that is so pretty called Killam Beige. It is also a Sherwin-Williams color, and it is the perfect beige. It does not have yellow cast to it. It doesn't have a pink cast. It's just a pale beige color. So I'll do one with that, and then I'll probably do the third one with the laundry room color, which I believe is Abington Putty, or it might be a color called Kiwi or Melon, maybe Melon. If either Kiwi or Melon was also a Sherwin-Williams color, Abington Putty is a Benjamin Moore color, and I think I have switched it since it was Abington Putty, but that's another one because we're coming and going from the garage, and it's Archie's room, so it probably needs some touch-ups here and there as well. So that is on my to-do list. You probably saw in my last video from a couple of weeks ago that I have been trying to reorganize my pantry, and so I bought more of these little clips that I had purchased on Amazon. They're just a little metal clip. You can write on them with a white pen that's included, or it does have little kind of shouldery things, so if you wanted to print something on your computer and slide into it, you really could do that quite easily. Or you could even write, if you wanted more of the white showing, you could write on a white card, slip it in, or another card, and then write on that with a colored marker or black marker. The clips are real movable, even though it's a sturdy metal. I'm able to pull them out. Some of the storage baskets I used, I couldn't get this in the way it is, so I was able to pull it out and just hang it over the side real easy. So I have loved those. And you know how things stop being produced or available? So I did want to go ahead. I think I need these, but if I have some left over, that's not bad, because then as I continue to evolve my storage process, it will, I'll have extras to use. And then the last thing, well, I have 2 things I want to show you, but one of them goes in with my sauerkraut. The last thing I wanted to show you was something I saw from another YouTuber for storing foods in your fridge and freezer. I used to have a food saver that my husband gave me. You know, it's kind of like a bigger sort of deal where you had plastics that you would melt, and then you would put your food in, and then you would seal it, and it would suck all the air out. That finally died. It stopped removing the air a while ago, and then it wasn't melting the plasticky storage bags anymore either. So I finally threw that away during my last clean out. And I saw someone else using this product and I thought, well, wow, that's so much smaller to store, and it comes with, or you can purchase extra plastic bags that are reusable, as well as glass storage containers with, you know, a lid that can also have the air removed. So these are by Zwilling or Zilling, that knife brand that you're probably familiar with. And I believe just the little control that came with maybe 3 or 4 bags. It came with 4 bags and one of the glass containers. It was $75 or $79 on Amazon. And then this little box of bags, which has 4 small, 4 medium, and 2 large, it was $14.99. So I really think this is going to be cheaper to use as well. And the fact that all the bags and of course the containers are reusable, not only good for the environment, but also good for your pocketbook. So you just charge this little gadget and the charger is included, and then you remove the bottom and you place this plastic part right over the little button that's on the bag or on the lid of the container, and it will just take the air out. So it's really easy and convenient. So you just place this part over there. It kind of snaps on, and then you can kind of see it. There wasn't air in there to begin with, but makes it easy. It is a Ziploc bag, so it is easy to put your items in there. And the great thing about this is, you know, with the Food Saver, once you cut that bag, you were either gonna have to, if you took only part of the food out, you were gonna need to put it in a different bag and reseal it. With these, you can open it up, take out the part you need, zip it back, and then just use your little gadget again and you're good to go. So I can't wait to use that in the coming months, and hopefully as we restock our freezer and fridge, this will come in handy to make foods last longer. It does talk about, you know, just even things you keep in your fridge, food prep, that sort of thing. This will help it last in the refrigerator longer. So I think that's a really good thing. And then on my fermenting, I decided to start with sauerkraut. So I did go ahead and buy some weights, just a little glass weight that fits in a wide mouth jar. So it makes it easy, especially for sauerkraut, just to push this down and not have to worry about another jar with marbles or leaves or any of the other things that are options. And this will last forever. 4 came in a package. And I will link all of these things down below in case you're interested in any of them. But right now I want to show you how easy it was to get my sauerkraut started. started with just a little bit. So I took a small head of cabbage, and with half of it, I just cut it up, put it in a Pyrex dish, baked it in the oven for about 45 minutes. And on it, I'd put some olive oil, some butter, and a bit of seasoned salt, as well as probably I put just a little bit of chicken broth, put the glass Pyrex lid on the container, baked it, like I said, for 45 minutes. Then I took the lid off, stirred it around, let all the fats and juices kind of meld together, and baked it probably for another 15 minutes. It was delicious. So that's a very easy recipe. But then with my other half, as you saw, I put it in my wide mouth, well, this is a curve, but wide mouth mason jar. So you can probably see by now the liquids are all the way up to the top of the cabbage. And as you press, you know, there's even more that comes out. So you are supposed to press this every now and then. And I will link below the directions that I followed. I don't know if she's a blogger or a YouTuber, but from the lady that I got the recipe from. And she said in there you could taste it for every step of the way. So within the first 24 hours, you know, the liquid needs to start covering the cabbage, which this has done. You leave your weight in there. Not only does it work as a press, but it also keeps all the pieces of the cabbage submerged, which you want to do so that it all is liquefying, I guess would be the best way to say it. But you don't want to leave any of it out, because obviously it's going to dry out and it's not anything you're really going to want to eat. So there's a little piece that did not get submerged. You probably saw from the video, it was not hard, and I already had liquids starting. Sorry about that. The camera battery died, so I had to replace it. So it's already starting to liquefy, and the lady whose directions that I watched said that you could actually taste it at every step of the way. So I kind of thought that might be fun to go ahead and see what it's tasting like now. It still smells like cabbage. Starting to get a little bit of a tangy or vinegary smell, I would say. Still is crisp and tastes like cabbage, obviously, but also very salty, which is probably my fault, because I didn't, when I cut down the cabbage, I didn't proportionately cut down the salt, I'm sure. But I would say it's still pretty good. So, since it's been, you know, a full day, it is got plenty of liquid. So all I need to do now is set it back out of the way, cover it back with the tea towel, and let it ferment. So I am so excited to see how this goes. It is a very small quantity, but that's okay. At least I'll know how to do it and that I like it before I really get a big jar of it going. That is it for me for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. If you would, I would love it if you would become a subscriber if you aren't already. And while you're there, if you don't mind going ahead and giving me a thumbs up on this video so I'll know that you want to see more content like this. Now I am eager to try homemade yogurt or water kefir or something such as that. So I will keep you posted on how the sauerkraut turns out and any progress I have on other fermented foods. Y'all have a good week, and I will see you back next weekend. Thank you.